Call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai to the house of David, the 1/3 men, women, and children of the elect. This is Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Alright, and that's World War III. And that's ultimately the deployment of thousands upon thousands of nuclear warheads.
Ever since the first nuclear weapons test in the deserts of New Mexico and the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, nuclear weapons have become significantly more powerful. Since the first test in New Mexico by the United States in 1945, 2,475 nuclear weapons have been detonated across the globe. Over 85% of those detonations have come from only two countries, however, the United States and the former Soviet Union. Only 2 of those thousands of detonations were ever used in a war, the ones dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II by the United States. But those bombs were very small compared to modern weaponry. The Hiroshima bomb produced an explosion of 15 kilotons, or 15,000 tons worth of TNT. The bomb dropped on Nagasaki had an explosion of 21 kilotons, but how much bigger can nuclear weapons possibly get? The answer is, terrifyingly, much, much bigger. The largest nuclear weapon currently in the United States arsenal is the B-83, which can produce a blast of 1.2 megatons. To understand the scale from here out, 1 megaton is equal to 1 million tons of TNT, and that is equal to 1,000 kilotons. Remember that the Hiroshima blast was just 15 kilotons, so that means that the B-83 produces a blast 80 times more powerful than that. What I've been showing on this scale is only the size of the mushroom cloud that the bombs produced, so to further add to this scale, we're going to place the size of Mount Everest here, and the average altitude of a commercial airliner that you would normally fly on here. So, the size of Mount Everest here, and the average altitude of a commercial airliner that you would normally fly on here. So,
alright, so there you go. That's how high these mushroom clouds are gonna be. Alright, you know, and the average height of a commercial jet airline is about 39,000 feet, which is roughly over 7 miles. Alright, that's how high this mushroom cloud is going to be. But just how much bigger and powerful can these bombs get? Alright, and this is considered a 1 megaton bomb, okay, which is 1 million kilotons. These bombs here were like 10 kilotons. 10, I forgot what it said in the beginning of the video. 15 kilotons. Yeah, so 10 and 15 kilotons. You know, this was 1 megaton. Produces, you know, a mushroom cloud over 40,000 feet. Alright, a lot of destruction. Alright, because the mushroom clouds, what it is all bombs produce mushroom clouds. What happens is you got a flame, right, and it's fire goes up, heat rises up, all right, but then you have a blast, okay, so that blast pushes the flames and that smoke up. So that's why a blast, a detonation, will always produce a mushroom cloud. But these big ass mushroom clouds is just to let you know the amount of force in that explosion. All right, this is nothing to be fucked with.
the Castle Bravo bomb is the largest nuclear weapon ever tested by the United States. It produced
the largest nuclear bomb ever tested by the United States. This one was the largest tested, okay, because they got mad bombs that haven't even been tested, because, you know, every time you test it, these are nuclear explosions that release radiation into the air, and these motherfuckers have tested a lot of nuclear bombs, okay, ever since the post-World War II era. They've been developing with the nuclear programs, the United States and Russia, poisoning the damn earth, you know, with all those detonations.
a blast of 15 megatons, or about 1,000 times the scale of Hiroshima. But
15 fucking megatons, all right? So 1,000 times more powerful than the one dropped in Hiroshima. These are modern day nuclear weapons. Shit that people haven't even seen. Like
1,000 times the scale of Hiroshima, but even that pales in comparison to the largest nuclear weapon ever detonated. In October 1961, the Soviet Union created the largest man-made explosion ever in human history when they detonated this device, known as the Tsar Bomba, here over this territory known as Novaya Zemlya. The bomb detonated with an astounding force of 50 megatons, or about 3,333 Hiroshima blasts. It was so powerful that it almost destroyed the plane that dropped it, shattered windows as far away as Norway and Finland, and the shock waves created by the bombs.
Whoa, so it shattered windows as far away as Norway and Finland. And Norway and Finland is right here, all right? And over here is where they tested the bomb. Right? This is hundreds of miles away, okay? I don't know. I don't have the scale here, so I can't really measure the distance here to really tell. Possibly be well over, I don't know, maybe under 1,000. I'm not sure. I don't know. But this is definitely hundreds of miles away from here to here, and it exploded right here. This 50 megaton bomb exploded right up here, and it shattered windows all the way over here in Norway and Finland. Okay, which is hundreds of miles away, a 50 fucking megaton nuclear warhead.
And the shock waves created by the bomb circled around the entire Earth 3 times. But this...
Alright, so the shock waves, alright, created by the bomb circled around the Earth 3 times. 150 megaton bomb, okay? 150 megaton bomb. And there's even more powerful ones than that. And there's multiples, okay? All right, these Russians got multiple nukes. So that's why it says in Isaiah 24, right? The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. Isaiah 24:20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. All right, so this earth, man, this earth is gonna shake. It's gonna be massive earthquakes. You're gonna, oh man, it's gonna be so loud, so powerful, so scary, and it's gonna be shit. You see how high the mushroom clouds are? Gave you a perspective in the video earlier on with the altitude that because the more powerful the bomb, the greater the higher the mushroom clouds. Now, you already saw that, between Russia and the United States, they got thousands of nuclear warheads, right? So that's why it's going to be a day of darkness. That's why the stars shall not give their light, right? It's going to be pitch black, all right? Because these mushroom clouds are going to cover everything in Babylon, in wherever else these missiles fall. Continue.
Test was actually just a scaled-down version of what was theoretically possible. Although never tested, the Soviets did have plans to create a bomb that would be twice as powerful as even the Tsar Bomba, a bomb so powerful that it would have produced a mind-boggling 100 megaton blast, or about 6,666 Hiroshima blasts altogether. To get another sense of scale, let's imagine that Times Square in New York City would be the epicenter of these blasts. You can test this stuff out yourself on the website NukeMap after watching this video. I'll provide a link for it after the end, but let's see the results first. First off, we're going to show the size of this detonation, which was caused by the recent North Korean test in 2013. Following this, here's the size of the Hiroshima detonation, which isn't really that much bigger, but let's move on to the B-83 bomb that we were talking about. As you can see, it would affect a much larger area than the Hiroshima bomb. But moving on past that to the Castle Bravo test, we can see how it truly dwarfs everything before it. But even that blast is incredibly tiny when we move on towards the Tsar Bomba as seen here. And then finally, for our scale, we move on to how large the blast from the theoretical 100 megaton version of the Tsar Bomba would be. The blast would be so powerful. This is what the blast radius would look like if you were observing it from the International Space Station. So the question then becomes, should any of this really...
Right? So look, these Russians got a bomb that if you right, these 100 megaton, 50 megaton, 100 megaton bombs, right here is Manhattan. And if that bomb were to go off, it'll go bam, that one nuclear bomb. Here's Long Island. Okay, you got it into Connecticut here, into upper state New York, shit, into New Jersey. One motherfucking bomb. Now the Russians got the missile called the Sarmat, right? The Sarmat, one missile. One fucking missile with 10 nuclear warheads. And that's how they can wipe out the whole state of Texas in one fell swoop. Look at this shit. Look, that's the damage range. Right? Right, the very center is the epicenter, right? Everything in the epicenter, alright, in the very epicenter, the very middle, the orange dot. Okay, let me refocus this. Okay, everything right here in the orange dot will instantly vaporize and get blown away to dust. Okay, then you have this outer purple circle. Okay, everything in there is gonna get blown the fuck away. Okay, to dust and burn, because you're gonna have heat waves that will come as gusts of wind that will shit on tornado and hurricane winds. Okay, fucking gusts of wind going, I don't even know how many miles per hour. I'm gonna have to look that up through the spirit, right? But you're gonna get blown the fuck away. And the air will compress and decompress, meaning it'll blow out and then it'll circle in on itself and then draw back in, blow into the center. So it blows out, but then it'll come back in. So it creates like a suction force, the explosion. These motherfuckers out here in the yellow, all these motherfuckers is gonna feel the wind, definitely. The radiation. They're gonna get fallout and suffer 3rd-degree burns if any motherfuckers survive. Okay, but then you got multiple ICBMs, right, getting launched and they're gonna be falling. So it's like, you got one ICBM here, you got one nuclear warhead that fell here, did mad damage here, right? But what about all the thousands of nuclear warheads that are gonna fall everywhere? All right, let me get you perspective. Right here is New Jersey. So one nuclear warhead will do all this damage. What about other nuclear warheads? Pennsylvania, saying you got South Jersey right here. You know what I'm saying? You got Maryland over here, Delaware over here, Maryland, Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying? All you need, one nuclear warhead here does mad damage. Saying you could drop like 12 of them types. You know what I'm saying? Just like, well, maybe like a dozen. And you could take out, shit, practically the whole East Coast, man. You know what I'm saying? Drop maybe 12, 15, 20. Take out the whole East Coast with just that.
International Space Station. So the question then becomes, should any of this really worry you? How many nuclear weapons exist today anyway? Well, in total, there are estimated to be around 15,600 nuclear weapons in the world currently, enough to destroy the entire planet dozens of times over. But only 9 countries control that stockpile, and 92% of those weapons are controlled by only the United States and Russia. The other 8% of the global nuclear arsenal is controlled in descending order of numbers by France, China, the United Kingdom, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea. Israel is, however, highly secretive about its nuclear program and has never publicly confirmed nor denied the existence of their nukes. It's just one of those things where everybody knows that they have them, but nobody really comes out and says so. Unless your name happens to be Mordecai Vanunu, a man who did reveal details about Israel's nuclear program and spent 18 years in prison, including over 11 years in solitary confinement. Also interesting to note, South Africa used to be in possession of 6 nuclear weapons because the past apartheid regime was afraid of the 79% of the population that couldn't vote and communists trying to overthrow their government, but they eventually agreed to dismantle all of them, which makes South Africa the only country to ever acquire nuclear weapons and then voluntarily get rid of them. Well, unless you don't count Ukraine, Belarus, or Kazakhstan, which all had nuclear weapons for a brief amount of time after they declared their independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. Ukraine is particularly awkward because after their independence, they found themselves in possession of over 5,000 nuclear weapons, which would make Ukraine for a brief period the world's 3rd largest nuclear power and probably one of the most powerful countries on Earth as a result. They agreed to hand them all over to Russia in exchange for a super serious promise that nobody would violate their territory or borders in the future, and we all know how that turned out. As a result of that happening, it's doubtful that other countries would be thrilled to ever give up their nuclear weapons in the future, but leave your thoughts and